Despite the less than ideal weather conditions here on Red Feather Falls today, we are back on our quest for a 200 scoring whitetail, and we're kind of resuming where we had left off, and it feels like it's been quite some time between the holiday videos and kind of doing videos specifically to go along with rifle season in PA. It's been a while since we've just hunted whitetail, but we're here in multiplayer. Kyla is hosting, and basically what that means is we don't have any tents to fast travel around to. Kind of no freebies is the way that I'm kind of looking at that. We are just left our devices on this map, and I did think it'd be fun to go along a little bit with the late season NPA, so I think going into the map messed up the loading animation for the cap lock, but we've got that, and we've got the pulsar compound bow. Those are kind of the closest two weapons to what I'd be using in real life. It would be a flintlock and not a cap lock if I were to use a muzzleloader, but anyway, close enough, and we'll see if we can have any luck out here with whitetail today. We've gotten ourselves into quite the situation here. We just had a buck drop behind us as I was trying to get into position to drop this guy. We're able to get him down with the pulsar. I really didn't think that buck was going to be ready to spook yet. I'm kind of shocked he saw us. I would think we're hidden here. Oh, we're not. The fact that our camo is not working here may be the issue. Now, unfortunately, it looks like the track has disappeared. I was following a max weight whitetail. Neither the buck we just shot nor the one that called up there were that particular buck, so I'm not too sure where that one's at. But at least we're able to bring this guy down, and the one negative side of that is I didn't get to kind of explain the other half of using equipment kind of like what I would use in real life. So we don't have the range-finding binoculars today. We've just got the normal ones, and then we also have a rangefinder. Now that buck does not exactly look like he was worth losing our max weight track over, because we were on that trail. He is 80 to 90 kg. So I guess at least a little bit better in terms of weight. And then the best I can figure is the direction that our max weight one was headed is kind of southwest. So maybe we can take this guy with the cap lock and then get moving quickly in that direction. So no time to waste. This guy is actually not wasting much time coming in either, but as he is getting a little bit closer, don't want to end up shooting him in the head. Hopefully a shot to the chest there will work, and I think we'll actually reload the cap lock as we start heading down that way. Now, I'm not sure like how many tracks end up getting deleted. I imagine it has something to do with the amount of tracks that are left like in the area or maybe on the entire map. But I do know, based on calling in that first buck, that they can cross down in that area, and that is the last direction we've got. So we'll go this way. We'll see if we can meet back up with his tracks, or maybe he'll end up calling for us. And just kind of fingers crossed that he ends up crossing our path. Well, that is a really good looking whitetail buck, 175 to 200. I miss the days where my spotting level was lower, because, and on occasion you will get those score estimates that actually aren't correct, but it feels like it shoots down any hope of it being a 200 whitetail by having a max score estimate of 200. And like I said, like we've had moose that have a max score estimate of 175 and they end up scoring like 175.2 and stuff like that. Maybe there's some hope he looked good. I know he was an 8x8, and I think he was coming in, but that's not the buck that we were tracking. That actually is. I just don't know what to do here. That doe is stuck down there. I am afraid it's too close. I say if that buck spooks, so be it. In fact, we may do it on purpose to try to make sure that he runs back away from us. Kind of a strategic send him running kind of situation, but that is the reason that we're over here, is that particular buck. That sounded like something else spooked. Did the doe take off as well? There's the one that we're after. So I guess we're fine. He's not even coming into the call. We have just a monster whitetail buck out here feeding in front of us. That is so cool. It's also really cool that we brought this particular set of equipment go ahead and get a range here about 30. I think given his size, that's probably the range to take the shot at. Probably when his head is down. That was a little lower than I wanted. Probably single lung, but I would like to think he's not going to be going that far. We'll take a look and see what the blood looks like. Hopefully it's going to be lung blood, not too long of a track. Intestines, those low shots. Sometimes that'll happen. You know, ironically enough, right in this area, my first ever 190 was an intestine shot with the recurve when I didn't even know how to aim it. It would be interesting if this guy ends up topping 190. I think he's got a legitimate shot at it, but the finding out portion is going to be delayed a little bit, waiting for him to expire. In the meantime, we might as well go ahead and take the shot on this doe. I've not been sitting here calling, so I guess it's just walking on by, and it may well be the one that was stuck there. I still don't know what happened. Like, that doe had to have spooked, which means it probably ran within 25-30 meters of the buck. It just really does depend, like, at what point. I think in their animations that a fleeing animal goes by, but anyway, that has given us, I think, enough time to maybe sort of slowly track him down. Hopefully he's not too far away, and if that was his maybe kind of stomach and intestine or something like that, he shouldn't be more than a couple hundred meters away. I see a red tracer on one side of the tree and that blue cone on the other. I've got to say, the tine length and the overall frame, I'm pretty optimistic about what this guy could score, and looking at that shot placement, it does kind of make sense as to how it was intestine, so fingers crossed here. 191.5, does that make him our best? Because our other two 190s were 190 flat. I'm pretty sure it does. It was jeez, that scared me. Stomach intestine, like I thought. I was not ready for that. 84.5 kg though. I just, in a recent video, made the point that I think it was the Christmas hunt with the reindeer. Sometimes you see stuff like this, and it just makes you think you should probably track basically every male, maybe other than like minimum weight ones, because you just never know which one is going to turn out looking like this. And I just hope, yeah, I don't think, well, maybe there might be a bit of hope that we can use this bit of sun to make the trophy shot a little better. It's so frustrating, like I can't get as much of his antlers in the sun as I'd like. I'm considering using the chroma filter, and I almost never filter trophy shots because I like just kind of the natural lighting and stuff, but I feel like in this one it might be warranted, and at least we've got like the closer to the camera antler in the sun. It was just an unfortunate spot for him to drop, but one thing that I want to highlight here is, in not that many hours of play considering, that's our second 190 since we've really started focusing in on multiplayer, and it's our third 190 since we started this grind. The other one was also a multiplayer kill. It was during the recurve competition, but I was only in multiplayer for that comp, so I hadn't really kind of made that connection yet. But going back, you know, all of my best whitetail bucks, all the 190s that I've had in the 1-200 that I was a part of, helping guide someone to, all those multiplayer kills, I still don't think I have a single player 190, and it just makes me think that we might be on the right track. I still don't know why. It seems to be the case that there are more good sized bucks in multiplayer, but whatever the reason is, we seem to find those upper end bucks in multiplayer, and I think that's just gonna be what we keep doing. It's gonna be hard to top that for the rest of the hunt, but I do think it's time to go back to the cap block. And I don't think this was the buck that we had coming in. I actually forget what it even looked like. I got a little bit focused on the one that had just slightly more antler, but yeah, that shot, I guess it's going to be a drop shot. It felt like we took the shot on the wrong step, and he ended up kind of leaning the wrong direction. That was up into the shoulder. And again, actually, for the sake of saving time, maybe we will reload as we continue on. But that was our third buck only, or maybe our fourth buck now. We've not had a bunch, But, you know, as I tend to say in these hunts, it only does take one. By the way, that was a 1, 2, 3, 4. I find it less likely now that they've added an additional decimal point. I always wanted a 1, 2, 3.456. To get a 4, 5, 6, 7 would be even more rare. We had the first 4 digits. I think it does a pretty good job of showing just how hard to top that 190 is going to be when the two kind of following it combined are going to be a lower score. We had 123, and I'm going to guess at best around 57. So that would leave us at 180 if we were to combine those scores. And I could be wrong, this guy could have one of those especially high scores for this particular rack, but at 52, that does mean that 191 is bigger than the two that followed it. And, you know, Classic has this thing where it seems like sometimes in a hunt where you find one rare, often you'll find a second one. I don't know if that correlates or translates to trophy animals where you find one, there's another, but you never know, especially in a hunt where we've had a good number of whitetail bucks. Kyla's had, I think, 3 over 140, and 2 of those were over 160. We had the 190. There might be another big one hiding out here. I know that at some point we tracked this buck, because when he grunted, it was a rediscovered trail that gave us the third red dot on the hunter mate, which means like we picked up multiple tracks or clues from, I guess I should say, maybe like a track and a call, or 2 tracks and a call. That seemed rather odd. Okay, I thought that I didn't hear any additional footsteps and maybe we didn't hit him that well. I have no idea what that shot was. I guess intestines again. Probably shouldn't have taken that blind of a shot through the reeds, but it felt like at that range it was going to be doable. So once again, we have a long track to go on, but the last time that we were tracking a heavy buck, although admittedly not one that had already been hit, it led us to a monster, so who knows what's kind of quite literally on the other side of this hill. Well, once again, we can kind of see why that shot didn't do as well as we would have hoped. Just a little bit too far back at the angle that we had. In fact, it was intestine hip bone. I thought it was a little better, but a 117 scoring buck. And now we can kind of get moving and hopefully get around this cow moose here. As much as I would have wanted to kind of end that hunt with a couple more kills, I just couldn't wait to get back in the lodge and take a look at this guy, our first Trophy Lodge edition of 2022, and we're only a couple of days in. A 190.5 or 191.5 scoring whitetail, and I actually went back and looked at the last two. It was 190.5, then 190.7, actually a 7x7. This guy at 191.5 as in 8x8. I mean, we're slowly but surely improving. And like I said, you know, it's just whatever it is. Multiplayer, we've done well finding big whitetail. I would like to think eventually the stars will align and we can find that 200, but I really enjoyed this hunt. It was nice to take the cap lock and compound bow out. At some point we really do need to focus on the longbow a little bit more. I don't know when we'll do that. It's a little more challenging of a bow to hunt with, especially when we're trying to focus on trophy animals and not making poor shots and spooking stuff. Not that we did the best job of that today, but maybe we can kind of practice with it and start to take it out. But anyway, that is going to do it for this video. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.